Chapter 239, Varied Academy Life. Several reincarnators, including Sensei, began to attend a human academy. What's surprising is that in addition to the two reincarnators that Sensei met previously, is that there's two more reincarnators going to the same academy, Natsume-kun and Hasabe-san. With regards to Hasabe-san, it's rude to say this, but she hadn't left me with much of an impression. It's not like she faded into the background or something, but she didn't stand out either. Just ordinary, I guess? It's the kind of girl I feel she was. Actually, I just don't remember her. Sorry. But the impression of the reincarnated Hasabe-san is completely different to the previous life and is intense. Firstly, she's beautiful. In my vague recollection, in her previous life, I don't get the impression that she was particularly beautiful, but instead, with what I felt like some remaining childhood immaturity, she had a winsome face. But in this life, she's definitely beautiful. She has smooth facial features to the extent that her future prospects shine through, even while she's still a child. Well, saying that, it's pretty common for the reincarnators to be handsome boys or pretty girls, though. Maybe it's a present from D or something. Saying that, it's her insights that have changed more intensely. As the name implies, the divine words are the words of God. They're literally a revelation from God. That is why, in order to hear their voice even slightly more often, we must raise our levels and train our skills, since if you don't do that, you obviously cannot hear the words of God. Whoa, Naiwa, why did this happen? With regards to Hasabe-san, I haven't understood that organization yet, have I? But it sure seems that the Divine Word religion has some hidden tricks. For Ogiwara-kun, who is also hidden, there's occasionally some contact, so I'm able to grasp the situation, though. And the final reincarnator is in the hands of the Divine Word religion is Kusama-kun. I've been putting it off until now, but maybe I should go get in touch with the Divine Word religion again or something. There's a precedent already with someone like Potamus, so depending on the circumstances, they may have become an annoying enemy. What kind of intention do they have for sheltering the reincarnators, I wonder? Because of that, I also wonder what their reason is for intentionally sending that person to the elf village. What are the Divine Word religion aiming for with their actions, I wonder? I need to find out. However, I wonder if it's okay in Hasabe-san's case in order to leave her alone. It seems this girl has already gone half crazy. While it could be said that she's been brainwashed to be convenient to the Divine Word religion or something, it really seems unlikely that she's been entrusted with some sort of secret orders or something like that. In what I've observed so far, she's not once taken any suspicious actions either. I'll continue monitoring her, but I don't need to be that vigilant, I guess. If there's a problem, then I'd say it's with Natsume-kun. Unlike Hasabe-san, I have a strong impression remaining of Natsume-kun, in a bad sense. Well, to put it simply, he's the leader of the pack type of kid. Even when he became a high school student, he was still always doing stuff like Big G. I don't know what Big G is. There's a link that I can click on. You can click on it if you open the website. I don't know what it is. You might know what it is. Whatever. In addition, he is someone who attempted to literally crush me. In my previous memories of when I was a spider, I don't have the recollection that it was Natsume-kun. I don't have the. I only had awareness to the extent that somebody had been trying to kill me. However, that memory is complemented by the memories of Wakabahito. She remembers the situation when Natsume-kun was trying to crush a single spider, and also Sensei, who stopped him. Do I bear a grudge against him for that? You bet. You could say that he almost killed me. Although my memories as a spider have been mostly lost, the terror I felt at that time and the gratitude of when I was saved is something I've never forgotten. Is there some means by which I can harass Natsume-kun, I wonder? Killing him would be the quickest and most refreshing way, but if I did that, I'm sure Sensei would be saddened. I remember the conversation that Sensei had with Oshima-kun. When Sensei was discussing the students who had died, she kept a brave face on. But I know more. When she's sleeping, there are times when she wakes up while crying. The times when she says, "I'm sorry," in a small voice while trembling. There are 4 dead students. One of those is doing just fine, though, so it's really students. 3 students, sorry. One of those is her. I'm fully aware of the harshness of this world. When mere high school students from Japan were reborn as babies in such a world, the victims were limited to just 3 students. I think it's likely that before I was aware of it, she was continuously crossing a very dangerous bridge and was continuing to take huge risks. From my perspective, I think her achievements are more than good enough, but Sensei does not think so herself. She's always thinking to herself about whether she could have saved the 3 who died. I'm sure it wasn't possible, though. There's not all that much that a single individual can achieve. Since even a god is not omnipotent, thinking that they all could have been saved is nothing other than unwarranted pride. I think that Sensei can take pride in what she achieved, but it's precisely because she cannot do that is why Sensei is Sensei, I guess. Really, whether it's Sensei, whether it's the Demon King, whether it's Kuro, this impossible dream that everything can be concluded with a happy ending. This can't end with some grand finale. There's too many scum in the world for everything to be saved. There's the likes of Potamus and Natsume-kun, you know? I've kept an eye out on Natsume-kun since an early stage, having been called a genius since birth. I wonder if he might be a reincarnator, and sure enough he was. At the time when we met up with Sensei and the others, I already knew that he was actually Natsume-kun, though. After all, Natsume-kun hasn't changed inside since his previous life, you know? Actually, he's gotten worse than before, perhaps. Born as a prince of all things, lionized, right? As a genius since birth, having strong power while actually being a child, and all of that. Oh yes, he's gotten conceited, a total braggart. An ego so inflated he might lift off. To pop that inflated ego is simple enough, but maybe that isn't my job. While watching him it irritates me to no end. I probably shouldn't intervene too much, since there just happens to be all these reincarnators gathered together in this isolated place called an academy. If I take some imprudent action here, it gets noticed, then Potamus or him might possibly interfere. That would be bad. Particularly him, Yamada-kun's elder brother. I want to avoid intervention from the hero, Julius. Okay, cool. 4 students. Yep. Big G. Huh. Okay. Doraemon. Sure. There you go. So if you know Doraemon, there you go. Thanks, Corn!